A world-renowned Japanese psychiatrist, Dr. Ryota Hashimoto, MD, PhD. And he's one of Japan's leading researchers at the National Center of Neurology and Psychiatry, the same country where people live past 100 at rates 10 times higher than anywhere else on Earth. But Dr. Hashimoto didn't just study brains, he studied patterns. And what he discovered linking brain health to longevity is shocking. Some people merely survived into old age, frail, isolated, waiting to die, while others, they thrived past 100 with sharp minds, strong bodies, and joy in their eyes. The difference wasn't genetics. It wasn't expensive supplements. It wasn't even diet. It was something far more powerful. Something you can start doing today, whether you're 50, 70, or 90 years old. Harvard Medical School just confirmed what Dr. Hashimoto's brain imaging research revealed. Your thoughts literally change how your body ages at the cellular level. Stay with me, because in the next 15 minutes, I'm going to show you exactly what centenarians do differently, and why the Danish twin study proved that 80% of your longevity is in your hands. Dr. Ryota Hashimoto isn't your average psychiatrist. As a leading researcher at Japan's National Center of Neurology and Psychiatry, he heads the Kokoro Consortium, a massive multi-center study analyzing over 10,000 brain imaging scans and 20,000 biological samples. His mission? To uncover the molecular mechanisms behind mental health and brain aging. With an H-index of 70 and hundreds of publications in the world's top journals, Dr. Hashimoto has spent decades using cutting-edge neuroimaging, including diffusion tensor imaging, DTI, to reveal how the brain changes with age, disease, and lifestyle. But here's where his research took an unexpected turn. While studying brain scans of elderly patients across Japan, a country where people routinely live past 100, Hashimoto noticed something extraordinary. Why did some people's brains age rapidly while others stayed remarkably young? The healthiest elderly patients, the ones who stayed sharp, vibrant, and engaged well into their 90s and beyond, didn't just have healthier brains on imaging. They approached life completely differently after age 60. They thought differently. They related to themselves differently, and their brains and bodies responded. Dr. Hashimoto kept meticulous notes. He tracked patterns. He studied behaviors alongside his brain imaging data. And slowly, a picture emerged. The healthiest elderly patients, the ones who stayed sharp, vibrant, and engaged well into their 90s and beyond, approached life completely differently after age 60. They thought differently. They related to themselves differently, and their bodies responded. A Japanese psychiatrist spent 60 years studying the longest living people on Earth, and what he discovered will change everything you think you know about aging. Dr. Ryota Hashimoto. And in 6 decades of practice, he noticed something extraordinary. Some people merely survived into old age, frail, isolated, waiting to die, while others, they thrived past 100 with sharp minds, strong bodies, and joy in their eyes. The difference wasn't genetics. It wasn't expensive supplements. It wasn't even diet. It was something far more powerful. Something you can start doing today, whether you're 50, 70, or 90 years old. Harvard Medical School just confirmed what Dr. Hashimoto saw with his own eyes. Your thoughts literally change how your body ages at the cellular level. Stay with me, because in the next 15 minutes, I'm going to show you exactly what centenarians do differently, and why the Danish twin study proved that 80% of your longevity is in your hands. While most psychiatrists focused on mental illness, Hashimoto became obsessed with a different question. Why do some people flourish in old age while others wither? For over 60 years, he worked with elderly patients across Japan, a country where people routinely live past 100. And he kept meticulous notes. He tracked patterns. He studied behaviors. And slowly, a picture emerged. The healthiest elderly patients, the ones who stayed sharp, vibrant, and engaged well into their 90s and beyond, approached life completely differently after age 60. They thought differently. They related to themselves differently, and their bodies responded. The afternoon of life. Hashimoto used the sun as a metaphor for the human lifespan. Morning is youth, building, striving, proving yourself. Noon is midlife, peak productivity, raising families, climbing ladders. Afternoon is ages 60 to 80, a completely different phase with completely different tasks. And here's where most people get it catastrophically wrong. They try to live their 70s the same way they lived their 30s. Hashimoto said, "That's like asking a child to do an adult's job. It doesn't work. The developmental tasks are fundamentally different. In the first half of life, you build the house, your career, your identity, your reputation. In the second half of life, you finally move in and make it home. You stop performing for others. You stop proving yourself. You start living from your authentic center. The science that proves he was right." Hashimoto's observations weren't just philosophical. They were biological. Recent research in the American Journal of Geriatric Psychiatry measured what happens when older adults do this inner work Hashimoto prescribed. The results? Lower inflammation markers, better immune function, slower cellular aging. Your thoughts aren't just psychological, they're biological. When you stop fighting yourself, when you integrate the parts of yourself you've been hiding, your body literally relaxes. Chronic tension decreases, sleep improves, pain lessens. Dr. Hashimoto spent 6 decades watching this transformation happen in his patients. And now, modern science has caught up. Now you might be thinking, that sounds nice, but what does inner work actually mean? How do I do it? Stay with me, because I'm about to break down Dr. Hashimoto's 3 core practices, the exact things his healthiest patients did every single day. And then we're going to look at the 5 places on Earth where people reach 100 at 10 times the normal rate. Because what they do matches Hashimoto's observations perfectly. This isn't theory. This is proven. And you can start today. Practice number 1, shadow work. This is the practice of acknowledging parts of yourself you've hidden or denied your entire life. Maybe you've suppressed anger, always being nice, no matter how you really felt. Maybe you've ignored your own needs, always putting others first, your spouse, your children, your boss, until you forgot what you actually wanted. Maybe you've hidden your true opinions to keep the peace, or buried dreams that seem too selfish to pursue. Hashimoto observed something remarkable. When people stopped fighting these hidden parts and finally integrated them, their bodies physically relaxed. Chronic tension melted away. Sleep improved. Mysterious pains lessened. Your body has been holding that tension for decades. When you finally acknowledge the truth of who you are, all of it, not just the acceptable parts, your nervous system can finally rest. How to do it? Every evening for just 10 minutes, ask yourself, what part of me did I hide today? What emotion did I suppress? What truth didn't I speak? Write it down. Don't judge it. Just acknowledge it. This isn't therapy. This is honesty. And your body desperately needs it. Practice number 2, creative expression. Hashimoto insisted his healthiest elderly patients engaged in creative activities daily. Not to become artists, not to create masterpieces, but to give form to what was inside them. Painting, writing, gardening, cooking, music, woodworking. It didn't matter what, only that they expressed themselves. And now, neuroscience proves why this matters so much. A groundbreaking study in Nature Communications analyzed brain scans of people engaged in creative pursuits. Tango dancers had brains that looked 7 years younger than their actual age. musicians, and visual artists had brains 5 to 6 years younger. Adults with high creative engagement developed Alzheimer's 5 years later than those without, age 93.6 versus 88.6. Another study tracking 3,000 adults over 65 found that regular creative activities reduced dementia risk by 73%, improved cognitive function by 45%. Why? Because creating activates multiple brain networks simultaneously: memory, emotion, motor skills, imagination. You're building what scientists call cognitive reserve, your brain's ability to maintain function even when some cells are damaged. Chinese research on creative expression therapy showed significantly higher cognitive functioning, memory, and executive function compared to standard brain training games. Your brain doesn't stay young by sitting idle. It stays young by creating. How to do it? For 20-30 minutes daily, engage in creative expression. Write in a journal, not about your day, about your feelings, dreams, memories. Draw, paint, or color. It doesn't have to be good. Play an instrument, even badly. Garden with intention. Cook something new without a recipe. Stop judging whether it's good enough. Just create. Practice. Number 3. Living with purpose. Hashimoto wrote something profound. Humans wouldn't live to 70 or 80 if longevity had no meaning for our species. The afternoon of human life must have significance of its own. Every single one of his healthiest patients had a reason to wake up, a purpose that drove them. And the research backing this up is staggering. A study in psychosomatic medicine followed 1,238 older adults for 5 years. Those with high purpose in life had a 43% lower death risk compared to those with low purpose. University of Michigan research showed people with the highest purpose experienced 46% reduced mortality risk, 24% less likely to become physically inactive, 33% less likely to develop sleep problems. But here's what really matters. Purpose affects your biology directly. Higher purpose correlates with lower inflammatory markers, better immune function, slower epigenetic aging at the cellular level. Your body responds to whether you feel your life has meaning. And no, purpose doesn't have to be grand or world-changing. Purpose is feeling your life has direction, that what you do matters, even to a small circle. Your purpose might be being fully present with grandchildren, tending a garden that feeds neighbors, writing letters that preserve family stories, mentoring someone younger, creating art that brings beauty into the world, simply showing up for the people you love. How to find it? Ask yourself Hashimoto's questions. What makes me come alive? What would I do even without praise or recognition? What calls to me? Your answers matter more for your health than any prescription. In 2004, researcher Dan Buttner partnered with the National Institutes on Aging to identify 5 places on Earth where people reach 100 at rates 10 times higher than in the United States. They called them blue zones. The Danish twin study had already proven something revolutionary. Only 20% of your lifespan comes from genes. The other 80% is lifestyle and environment. So what were these centenarians doing differently? Blue zone habit, number 1, natural movement. No gyms, no marathons, no complicated workout routines. They gardened, walked to neighbors' houses, used hand tools, kneaded bread by hand. Their environment nudged them into movement every 20 minutes. In Okinawa, 100-year-olds still tend vegetable gardens. In Sardinia, 90-year-old shepherds still walk mountain terrain tending flocks. Movement isn't exercise. It's woven into life. Blue zone habit number 2, plant-based diet with beans as the star. Their diet is 90-100% whole food, plant-based. And here's the kicker, beans are central to every single blue zone. Lentils, black beans, fava beans, garbanzo beans. Research shows eating just 1 cup of beans daily adds 4 years to life expectancy. They eat meat rarely, about 5 times monthly in small portions. Compare that to Americans who eat over 200 pounds of meat yearly. In Okinawa, they practice hara hachibu, eating until 80% full. They stop before feeling stuffed, naturally avoiding overeating. Blue zone habit number 3. Ikigai, a reason to wake up. In Okinawa, it's called ikigai. In Costa Rica, plan de vida. Both mean the same thing, a reason for being. Every centenarian interviewed had one, crystal clear. One Okinawan woman in her 100s said her ikigai was being present for her great-great-great-grandchildren. She called, holding them, jumping into heaven. A Sardinian shepherd in his 90s said his identity was tied to his flock. He couldn't imagine not tending them. Purpose isn't retirement. Purpose is what keeps you alive. Blue zone habit number 4. Community and belonging. In Okinawa, they form moais, committed social circles created around age 5 that last for life. Dan Bettner studied one moai where members had been together for 97 years. Their average age, 102, and they still met daily. In Sardinia, multi-generational living is the norm. Grandparents live with children and grandchildren. Research shows keeping aging parents close lowers disease and mortality rates for everyone. Loneliness kills, connection heals. Blue zone habit number 5. Faith and ritual. Attending religious services just 4 times per month adds 14 years to life expectancy. It's not about which faith. It's about belonging to something larger than yourself. About ritual. About community. About meaning. Now, here's what ties all of this together. Dr. Hashimoto's 3 practices, shadow work, creative expression, and purpose, are exactly what Blue Zone centenarians do naturally. They live authentically. They express themselves. They know why they're here, and their bodies reward them with decades of vibrant life. But you don't have to move to Okinawa. You don't have to completely overhaul your life overnight. Let me give you a simple, practical framework you can start today, combining Hashimoto's wisdom, Blue Zone research, and cutting-edge science. Stay with me. Here's a realistic framework that combines everything we've covered. Morning, 15-20 minutes. Quiet reflection. Sit quietly. No phone, no TV, just you. Observe thoughts, feelings, and images that surface. Don't judge them. Don't fix them. Just notice. This is what Hashimoto called active imagination, allowing your unconscious mind to communicate before stress buries it. This practice lowers cortisol, reduces inflammation, and prepares your mind for the day. Throughout the day, natural movement. Forget the gym if you hate it. Instead, take stairs. Garden for 20 minutes. Walk to run errands when possible. Use hand tools instead of electric ones. Stand while talking on the phone. Move naturally. Let movement be a joy, not a chore. Meals. Eat like the Blue Zones. Make beans a daily staple. Add to soups, salads, or eat as a side. Fill your plate with colorful vegetables. Eat until 80% full. Stop before you're stuffed. Have one meal in complete silence, being fully present with each bite. And here's a powerful practice. Once a week, cook a meal from scratch with intention. Let it be creative, meditative. Afternoon, evening, 20-30 minutes. Creative expression. This is non-negotiable for brain health. Choose one. Write. Journal, letters, stories, memories. Draw, paint, or color play music, or sing garden with intention. Cook, creatively dance in your living room. Woodworking or crafting. Remember, it doesn't have to be good. It just has to come from you. Evening, 10 minutes. Shadow work. Before bed, write down answers to these questions. What part of me did I hide today? What emotion did I suppress? What truth didn't I speak? Acknowledge it. Don't judge it, just see it. This Practice releases tension your body has been holding all day. Connect with your community, join a group, attend services, visit friends. Do something that serves your unique purpose. Volunteer, mentor, create, care for family. Spend time in nature. Even 20 minutes in a park lowers stress hormones significantly. Is this easy? No. Does it require discipline? Yes. But let me ask you something. What's the alternative? Going through the motions for another 20, 30, 40 years? Existing, but not truly living. Or choosing to be present, purposeful, creative, and authentic? Dr. Hashimoto was crystal clear. These practices don't just add years to your life. They add life to your years. He lived to 86, working and writing until his final days. Because he lived from his authentic center. He expressed his creativity. He maintained deep purpose. The same path is available to you. Your second half of life can be your best half, but only if you choose to live it fully. This means not fighting, aging, not pretending you're still 30, but embracing what Hashimoto called the afternoon of life, when you finally become who you truly are. The Danish twin study proved 80% of longevity is in your hands. Blue zones showed the patterns. Purpose research confirmed the mechanism. Creative activities demonstrated brain protection. Now it's your turn to apply it. Let me leave you with Dr. Hashimoto's most powerful words. A human being would certainly not grow to 70 or 80 years old if this longevity had no meaning for the species. The afternoon of human life must also have a significance of its own. Your afternoon matters. Make it count. If this resonated with you, if you feel called to try even one practice, type yes in the comments below. Share this video with someone who needs it, a spouse, a parent, a friend who's struggling with aging, and hit subscribe so you don't miss the research-backed health information I share every week, because you deserve to live fully, not just survive, not just exist, but thrive. The longest living people on earth aren't just physically healthy. They're socially connected, purposeful, and living authentically. You can be one of them. Start today. Start with one practice. Build from there. Your future self, the one who's still vibrant, sharp, and joyful at 90 or 100, is counting on you.